ओके, तो ये तस्वीर निकल के आ रही है। चलिए अब एक मैनेजमेंट से बात करते हैं। गौरव, आप रुकिएगा हमारे साथ। टायर बनाने वाली कंपनी सीएट ने दूसरी तिमाही में जो नतीजे पेश किए हैं, उसमें कंसोलिडेटेड बेसिस पे आप देखेंगे तो एक वन ऑफ खर्चा था, जिसकी वजह से आप प्रॉफिट काफ़ी नीचे देखेंगे, लेकिन जो एक्सपेक्टेशंस थी मार्केट के, उससे काफ़ी बेटर यहाँ पे पेश किए हैं। बातचीत हम करेंगे कंपनी के सीएफओ, हमारे साथ हैं कुमार सुबिया। कुमार सर, बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका सीएनबीसी आवाज़ पे। एक बार तो आप हमें थोड़ा नंबर एक्सप्लेन करिए, क्योंकि बहुत लोगों को नंबर देख के समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि अचानक से इस तरह के नंबर्स क्यों हैं।
Good morning. Thank you for having me on your show. Could you repeat the question? I couldn't hear your question clearly.
In the numbers, because the headline numbers are showing the different story.
Yeah, the numbers as far as Q2 was concerned, it was in terms of revenue, there was the highest revenue that we have ever achieved. So we're happy with that. And year-on-year basis, we've grown by about 18%, and quarter-on-quarter, we have grown by about 3%. Large part of the growth was driven by OEMs, and exports had a little bit of headwinds, and replacement was steady. That's the way I would like to summarize. There's been some improvement in the margins over the previous quarter to the extent of little over 100 basis points, and largely driven by increase in selling price of our tires, some control over our operating costs. The benefit of raw material cost reduction is likely to flow in from Q3 onwards.
Kumar sir, during the quarter, your replacement market is showing the moderate growth in the second quarter, and especially in two-wheeler segment, the growth is very steady, or rather we can say it's not accelerating. What are the reasons, sir?
Two-wheeler growth, from our point of view, we grew strongly with OEMs during a Q2. And in the replacement market, it was kind of a flat. During the quarter, we also took some price increase. So we had value growth in Q2. We took a price increase of approximately about 8% in motorcycle tires and scooter tires in the month of August. Okay, that gave us some value growth. But in terms of demand standpoint, it's been flat.
कुमार सर, पैसेंजर व्हीकल और यूटिलिटी व्हीकल में भी बहुत फ्लैट सी डिमांड है, कमर्शियल में रादर सीजनली वीक डिमांड है, जबकि हम लोग ये देख रहे हैं कि ऑटो के नंबर्स अच्छे आ रहे हैं। फिर क्यों ऐसा, आपके साथ ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है?
No, auto OEM side, in the segments that you just now mentioned, passenger cars, utility vehicles, demand, it had grown in double digits in Q2 if we were to compare it to the same quarter of last year. Yeah, in the replacement market, okay, normally Q2 and Q3 are relatively weaker months compared to other weaker quarters compared to other quarters, largely on account of monsoon season. Generally, there is a tendency to replace less tires during that particular period. Otherwise, we have been holding on to our market share. Okay, and when our market grows, we are able to participate in the growth. But you would tend to see a marginal decline in Q2 and Q3 compared to other two quarters.
Okay. Kumar sir, your export revenues has grown by 24% YOY, but in terms of volumes, it is flat, rather it is getting impacted. What are the reasons? Is it because of the currency hedge you are getting the benefit?
No, in case of exports, across all segments, we have been taking price increases at regular intervals. Okay, if we have a solid last base as far as Q2 is concerned. If you recall, in the year FY 21-22, our exports grew by 50%. Okay, over the previous year. So we are talking about on a strong base. But since beginning of the current financial year, we are seeing some headwinds as far as exports is concerned. Okay, the demand from our own neighboring countries, Africa and Europe, have been on the decline. Okay, some of them on account of steep depreciation in the respective countries, and Europe generally the demand has been weak. Our dealers and distributors in those regions, they tend to keep little lower inventory to just to be cautious. I think so. Exports is seeing some kind of headwinds overall in passenger categories as well as commercial categories. But in specialty, we have been growing. and the specialty means I'm talking about off-highway tires. We are able to get decent amount of growth in across all geographies.
What percentage of off-road tires in your total revenue?
Our total revenue approximately, including farm tires that we sell in India, otherwise it will be about 800 crores. That overall our off-highway revenue on an annualized basis.
How is truck tire demand internationally and domestic?
Now, internationally, we face some headwinds. See, in particularly, in countries like Indonesia, where you need permit before you export tires. So we're facing some challenges in getting those permits in Europe, in Indonesia.
What are the challenges? Why are you not getting the permits?
Normally, it is a permit given by the local government in the country. Even when you have orders, okay, unless you get that permit, you are not allowed to export tires. So there are periods where in Indonesia, based on their own local priorities, local currency situations, okay, there could be some periods where they may not grant adequate permits. So that causes issues for those who are exporting outside ASEAN to Indonesia.
Okay, sir. Lastly, what are the cost and raw material prices, including margin picture going forward in H2? As I see, raw material basket has got 4% upside.
Yeah, in quarter 2, you are right. Quarter 2 RM overall cost went up by 4%, and which was even marginally higher than our estimate for quarter 2. Going into quarter 3, we expect raw material prices basket to come down in the range of about 2.5% to 3% in terms of cost of goods sold. And the correction in raw material cost has been a little higher than that. If should the raw material price continue at the current level, there could be some positive impact in going into quarter 4 also. While base price of these raw material have come down, say in dollar terms, the depreciation of currency also has an adverse impact. In the last 6 months, currency has moved from 75 to a dollar to around 82 to 83 to a dollar. So that also has an impact on imported materials. Also on some of the materials that we buy in the local market are import parity prices. So after adjusting that, okay, we expect raw material basket to come down in the range of 2.5% to 3% in quarter 3. We may have some positive impact in quarter 4 too, but maybe closer to the time we would be able to give a better estimate.
Okay, Mr. Kumar, considering all the facts and figures we have discussed till now, how is the operating environment? Having said this, I'd like to mention the bottom of the pyramid market is not picking up at all.
Mark, see, if you look at our first 6 months performance for our quarter 1, quarter 2, year on year, okay, and quarter 2 year on year, we have grown by about 18%. Okay, it's a combination of both volume as well as value. Okay, and quarter 1, we had a very strong growth, upwards of 40% over the same quarter of last year. Needless to say, I think this quarter 1 of current year is not comparable to quarter 1 of the previous year, because last year COVID wave 2 hit and the demand was a little lower. Overall, market has been growing. Okay, and these days the price growth is a little higher than volume growth. Bottom pyramid of the market, I think in the replacement, the growth has been marginal. In the OEMs, the growth has been good. I think the auto sector had a good festive season. On exports, off late, due to macroeconomic reasons or issues in certain geographies, it's impacting overall demand, which we think once Russia-Ukraine maybe war comes to an end, or there's some clarity on availability of energy or energy cost in Europe, and the recession fear disappears in Europe, maybe you could see some uptick, but there will be a period where we'll have some issues in terms of growing exports market. I think it's a combination of all three. Last 2 years, 3 years, we have been steadily growing from 6,600 crores of revenue to 7,600 to 9,300 last year. And we are at a higher level in the current year. So overall, we have been growing. Okay, but that's the way I would like to summarize.
Okay. Thank you, Saurabh, sir. Thank you so much.
Pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah. तो सीएट का मैनेजमेंट ये मानता है कि मार्केट में अभी